ever going to get dementia understood nationally, and by that I mean by everybody, is to have conferences like this, where you get movers and shakers and people who are already involved in the dementia world, who can take back the messages and the information that they get from a conference like this, where the speakers are outstanding, and take them back into their communities and share what they've heard and what they've learned and their experiences with the rest of their community. And like a virus then, it grows through the community. You tell one person, that person tells another friend, you've then got 2 people, that means you've got 4 people, then you've got 8, then you've got, you know how it works, you know the maths. And that's the importance of something like this. We keep hammering home the important messages about dementia, so that we really genuinely can start to make a difference to society's attitude towards what is a devastating illness. The Dementia Friends programme is outstanding. 2 million people who are now people who I think of them as a kind of safety net in the community. Because basically what the Dementia Friends do is not only do they understand what dementia is and how they can help people with dementia, they go out and physically do that. So you've got respite for people who are carers, so you can say to a husband, look, you go down to the pub and I'll sit with your wife, or you go and watch a football match with your mates, I'll sit with your wife. You can say to women, you know, I'll sit with your husband, you go do your shopping, get your hair done, join the Women's Institute or whatever. It's a great safety net, first of all, in that it supports families with dementia. But also because if you've got people who are dementia friends who work within companies, within industries, other people may see their badge. I mean, what I'm wearing today actually are the Alzheimer's Society badges, the very posh ones that we've had made by one of our sponsors, Schwarzkopf. And but people will see that badge and say, you know, what is that? Who is that? And again, you're spreading the message. But I suppose more importantly, what we're doing by all of the different projects that we have, where we're promoting Dementia Friends in businesses, particularly in companies, is saying to members of staff who interface with the public, and we say we've got 2 million, I suspect we've actually got more than that, because I see people who are in businesses who say, oh yes, I know all about Dementia Friends. And that's great, because it means the girl at the checkout in the supermarket is making sure that if she sees someone coming through with 6 bottles of washing up liquid or whatever, she'll say to her supervisor, I think we've got a slight problem here. You're recognising that there's a problem, and you're then able to help that person. And all of our dementia friends are that big safety net, but they're also getting the message out about dementia. And they are doing an invaluable job of actually supporting people with dementia in the community, whether they live in a city, in a village, in a rural community, an urban community, or whatever. So they are vital to the work that we're doing.
Views when determining future policy.
If you really want to know what it means to have dementia, what you need to do to help people with dementia and their carers to improve their lives and to give them the services that they need, you have to talk to the experts, and the experts are the people with dementia. They know more about it than anybody else. You've got, or they don't know maybe the medical side of it as well as a doctor, they don't know the research side of it as well as a scientist. But they know what it's like to live inside a body that has dementia, and to live with consequences of that disease and that illness. So if you really want to know what is going to make your life better, whether it's the service you get from your GP, whether it's the service you get from your bank, the way that your friends around you relate to you, whatever, you're going in a taxi, getting on a bus, all of those things, ask the people with dementia, and they will tell you, this is what will make my life better. And it's only when you know precisely what is going to make their lives better and what is really going to help them to live better lives that you're then able to include that in any kind of government policy that you may have, or any social policy that you may have. You can actually reflect what people need, but add to it another layer, which is the layer of expertise that comes from people like the speakers that you've had today, who are all experts in their field, who not only then know what is needed, but actually have the power, the authority and the position to implement what's needed. So it's meshing the two together. You can't have one without the other. You certainly can't have experts going around saying, oh, I know what you need, it's this, that and the other, if it's actually not what someone with dementia really believes they need. We need to listen to them and then incorporate that in all of the policies that we have surrounding dementia, medical and social. it's pretty important when you bring together, as you have done at this conference, some leading experts in their field on dementia. Alistair Burns, for instance, that you're not going to hear anywhere else than at a conference like this. Although Alistair and all of the other speakers, Andrew Sutcliffe, all of them, they're all terrific at getting out and meeting people. But if you really want the knowledge, the expertise, the authority that those people have to be generally known to people, you have to give them the opportunity to come to those conferences where those individuals are speaking. Otherwise, they're going to get it second or third hand. They're not going to read about it necessarily in the national newspapers. So they're never going to have an opportunity of knowing, for instance, as we've heard today from Matt, what is happening in research at the moment, what stage we're at, and why. People will say, why haven't you got a cure yet for dementia? Well, we haven't got it yet for epilepsy, we haven't got it for Parkinson's. There are lots of things for which we don't have a cure. But we are working towards it, and we're working towards medical interventions. But unless you're able to listen to somebody like Matt and hear what's being done, how would you know? You'd go on asking the questions. If you're not able to listen to the people who really are at the sharp end of the decisions that are being made by government or the decisions that are being made in the social context, how are you ever going to know unless you're given an opportunity to come to a conference like this, where you can hear for yourself firsthand what is actually happening in these various areas that are working in dementia, so that you can not only store that knowledge yourself, but you can take that back to others as well.
What would that be?
The fact that you have so many people that want to come, and the fact that you have so many speakers of such quality that want to be here. That's the most inspiring thing to come out of this. And the will that everybody in this room has to make it work. I used the analogy in my opening remarks of turning a tanker. Anybody with a naval background will know exactly what I'm talking about when you say, you can't just stop a tanker, turn it round and that's it. It takes ages, it takes miles, and it takes time to do it. And that's the situation that we have with dementia at the moment. We have to stop the tanker, which is going towards the ignorance, the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding that too many people still have about dementia. We've got to stop it. We've then got to slow it down. We've then got to try and turn it. You can't turn a tanker like that, like you can a skateboard or a pair of roller skates or a car. You can't. It takes a long time and it takes a great distance. But once you get it past a particular point, it then starts going off on its journey in its new direction. And that's what we're trying to do with dementia. And the only way you're ever going to do that, to get the nation as a whole, or more people within the nation, understanding about dementia, how they can support and help people who have dementia and their carers, is for the knowledge to become universal. That takes time. And it takes people who come to conferences like this to take that message out there. So the most inspiring thing I ever get, not just from this conference, but from any conference that I attend, is the fact that there are so many people who are passionate about getting that message out and getting that message across. Because it's only those individuals who will actually get the message out there, help to ensure that people don't just listen, that it doesn't just become a talking shop, but it becomes a programme for action, that we will actually start to change the nation's perception of what dementia is, how it affects people, and how they as individuals, whether they're doctors or bankers or the girl who works on the supermarket till or whatever, how we can support people with dementia and make their lives better.